How are you, Mubin? Can you hear me? Yes, all of you, can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, we will just wait for 2 minutes more. Might be some more classmates will also join, and then we will start. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We will start with today's lecture. Okay, before the midterm, as all of you know about, we have worked with some basic control of Android Studio. We have worked with the edit text control, radio buttons, and the checkboxes, text views, and some more basic control we have worked with. As I just told you, like after the midterm, we will start working with the database. So in today's lecture, uh, we will we will basically make one small application. We will create a one small database within the local mobile device, and then we will try to insert record, update record, delete record, and view record, and display your record within the text you control. Now you should keep something in your mind. This is obviously like this application is basically a little bit lengthy application. Probably we will not be able to finish this application in only in one lecture. So today and one more lecture, like next lecture, or in two lectures, we will try to finish this particular application of database part. So we have already talked about before the midterm about the SQLite, as I just already described within the class. SQLite is a small software which is used to store the data of single user within the uh, local mobile device. So this is what we are going to do today. You can just see the screen. Within the screen, you can just see here we have the few text boxes, edit text. First of all, the first text box is for employee ID, then name, then address, then salary, then department ID. Then we have save, update, and delete, and view. And then furthermore, we have here the one text view for to display your record. So initially, first of all, we will design the user interface, and then we will start writing code for this particular application. So let me stop the screen, and I will share here the Android Studio screen. Okay, One thing more, all of you should keep in your mind, by the time you're trying to join, whenever you're trying to join this particular meeting, so write down your name and registration. Registration for the purpose, like for the attendance purpose, it's a little bit easy for me to mark you present or absent based on your registration. So from now onward, if anyone will join, so please write down your name plus registration during the joining. I will take the screenshot of of those students, those who are already logged in, and then later on after the class, after 5 to 10 minutes, I will upload your attendance uh, within the system. So let's design the user interface first. So I'm going to the split mode and changing the layout from this to relative. So let's set here the margin. I'm setting here the margin 10 dp, and now all the required control we needed, I will just add here all the basic control. So initially what I just need, I need here the one edit text. So I'm just going to add here the edit text, rep con, which should be, let me just do it again, edit text, match parent, and wrap content. Now let me just give the one proper ID. ID will be employee ID edit text. This is the ID, and the hint will be enter employee ID. Now similarly, we need few more text boxes. So one for the name, salary, and a little bit more. But the next one will be salary, name, enter employee name. This one will be below ID. So now this is the one more we need, which is for salary. So salary, edit text, enter salary. So this way, so always try to use the proper name for your control. So now this one will be address text box, and here I'm just going to enter address, and the one last I'm just going to take here, which will be department ID. So department ID, and here again department ID, and this one will be below address, and address will be below salary. So now we have some interface, something look like this. So still add salary. Salary will be below employee name. So you can just see the interface. We have here ID, name, salary, and address and department ID. Now, let me just take here, we need here the 4 button. So first of all, I need the first button, which is save, then update, then delete, then view. But I need the horizontally aligned. So for horizontal alignment, what I need here, I will just take here within the relative layout. I will just take here the one linear layout, match parent, and wrap content. So first of all, within the linear layout, we have to set the orientation. So orientation should be horizontal. And one more thing, this linear layout will be below our department ID. So now this is your linear layout, and within this particular linear layout, we need the first thing, which is button. So wrap content, and I'm just giving the name, ID, save button. Okay, furthermore, let's give the one proper text, save. So this is now the one button. Now accordingly, similarly, we need few more buttons. So let me just copy and paste one for update, delete, and view. So let's change the name from this to update and update. And then I'm just taking here delete and delete as well. Now the one last button that will be view to view the record of the database. So now we have here, now you can just see it is horizontally aligned because we took here the linear layout. So it will be much better. You should give the one proper ID to your linear layout as well. So button layout, button layout. Now this is the one more thing, and the one last control we need here, that will be for displaying your record, where you want to display your record. Now to display your record, like the record which is saved inside the database, you can just take here text view. You can display your record within the text view control. You can display your record within the list view. You can also use the spinner or the grid view. So different controls are available. You can use any one of them, but I'm just taking here initially the text view to make this application a little bit simple. So to keep the application simple, I'm just taking initially text view. Later on, I will also let you know about how you can display your values within the list view or the grid view control as well. So mesh parent, rep content, and ID, ID, ID will be display record or display text view. Display record text view. Text will be our hint. I can just display your database record here. Now, one last thing, we should be below. This should be below button layout. So now we have here something. Now, one thing is important here. Now, you can just see here, how many space do we have to display our record? We have a space from here up to here, So probably we can display maximum within this area, 10 record or 15 record. So what will happen? Because this is the text view, control. So what will happen in case if we will have 200 records? So obviously we are not able to display 200 records from this, starting from this place to this place. So it's need also the more space. So obviously we need here the scroll. By the time if this limit will get exceed, so we need here the scroll bar. I can just show you the one example. Let me stop the screen and I will open here the notepad and we'll share the screen here, notepad, and now you can just see. Now look at here. One of the important things now, when I'm just writing here the few numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now look, we have here the scroll bar. This scroll bar is deactivated. While I'm writing here 11 and now 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Huh? So now this way you can just see scroll bar get activated automatically. So I can just see the remaining record, like within from here to here, we can display only 12. If we have more than 12 record, then we need here the scroll bar. So same is the case with the text view. Text view can display your record, but if the record will exceed the limit, then we need here the one scroll bar. So let me stop the screen and share again, once again, the Android Studio. So what I just need to do here, I need to take here the one scroll view, mesh parent and mesh parent. Both should be mesh parent. Now take this text view and copy this, cut this text view and put it within the scroll view. Now this will add the features. Now by the time if you will exceed the limit, then it will still display your record after exceeding the limit. One thing more, you can just use here below the button layout. So now this will be below. Now this is your basically scroll view. Within this scroll view, you have the one text view. If the text view will exceed this particular limit, it will display automatically the scroll bar here. So this is the user interface. So we have successfully designed our user interface. Now the next step is to write down your code. So first of all, what I'm just trying to do here, I'm writing here. Okay, please don't write your registration in the chat box. I just told you by the time you will get login, on that time you can log in with your name and with your registration. I will take the screenshot and then we'll save that in this later on. Okay, now let me add here the one class, and the class name will be DB helper. DB helper is basically one of the class where we need to write down the code for insert record, update record, delete record, and so on and so on. Now we have two classes. One is the main activity.java and the one is the DB helper. So before going to the DB helper, let me just write down the few basic code on the main activity, and then I will come back to the DB helper.java at then. So initially, I'm just declaring here the few objects. Number one, edit text, and I'm just writing here employee ID edit text, and edit text employee name edit text. The next control we have on the user interface, that is salary edit text. Now the next one we have here address, and the last one we have which is edit text department ID edit text. And the one more control I'm just taking here, which is the text view. Text view to display your record. Display record text view. Display record text view. Now these are the objects. So let's initialize your object when you will run your application. So I'm just writing here employee edit text equal to edit text. Find view by ID r.id dot employee ID. Now employee name equal to edit text. Find view by ID r.id dot employee name. Furthermore, the next we have salary. So salary equal to edit text. Yes, edit text. Find view by ID r.id dot salary, and address edit text equal to edit text. Find view by ID r.id dot address, and the last control we have here, which is department ID. Find view by ID r.id dot department ID. And the one more control which we do not need right now for display record, and let's take it. Let's take the display, because this will be basically the last part of our this application. So find view by ID r.id dot display record text view. Now these are the initializations of your control. So what we need here, furthermore, we need here when someone click on the save button, it should pick the value of all these controls and should save within the SQLite database, which I have just specified. To do that, what we need to do here, first of all, I'm just taking here button, save BTN equal to button, and find view by ID r.id dot save button. Now, similarly, we have here the update. So update btn equal to button find view by id r.id dot update button. And furthermore, we have here delete. So let's take here delete equal to button find view by id r.id dot delete. And we have also the view. So view btn equal to button find view by id r.id dot view button. Now, when someone click on the save, so save your record, update your record, delete your record, and view. So click is the event. So I'm writing here save btn dot set on click listener equal to new click listener. Now, one click, what to do? So this is the number one. Number second, we have here update dot set on click listener new view update. What to do on updates? Now delete, we have here set on click listener new view. So this is for the delete. And the number last, which is for view btn dot set on click listener equal to new view. So this is what we have. Is it clear? Any problems so far?
No, sir. Thank.
So it's simple. It's we do not have so far any complication here. Now, slowly, gradually, I will also write down the DB helper class functions as well. As I just told you, like it's a lengthy application, so we will not finish the application in this lecture, but we will try to finish in this and plus in next lecture. So now let's come back, go back to the DB helper class. Now in the DB helper class, I'm going to define here the few basic functions. Number one, I'm writing here public long save record. Save record will save your record. Now public long update record. This one will update your record. Public long delete record. This one will delete the record. And obviously we need a couple of more functions as well. Now by the time if you want to save any record, if you want to save any particular record, so you need to also pass the parameter. So you should see what are the different parameters we have. We have, if I want to save record, I need to pass the employee ID, name, salary, address, and department ID. These are the parameters. So initially it's giving me here the error. So I'm just writing here initially return 0 so that it should not give me any error. Return 0 or return 0. And I'm just writing here, okay, now integer, first of all, the first parameter will be integer, which will be employee ID. So this is the first thing. Now, second, what I just need to do here, we need to also pass the employee name. Furthermore, we need to also pass integer salary. String, we need to pass the address, and one more, which is also integer department ID. So these are the parameters I need to provide whenever I will call the save function. So I need to provide all these parameters. Now do the same for the update. If you want to update any record, so you need to also pass all the same parameters. So let's copy and paste in case of update. So in case of update, you need to also pass the same parameter. Now while you are trying to delete any particular record, so you do not need to pass the name, salary. The delete is possible based on ID. So I can just use here employee ID, and I just need to pass only the employee ID here, and that's it. So these are the basically the few basic functions we needed for insert record, update record, and delete record. Obviously, these are not all the functions. We need obviously some couple of more functions as well. So now it's the time to write down the remaining code of the DB helper class. The first, I'm just writing here DB helper class. as I just told you, like previously, one of the beauty of Ender Studio, it has a lot of predefined code is already available. So we need to use that function, that code, uh, to achieve our task. We do not need to rewrite all the code. So before writing that code, let me just discuss the one more topic, and then I will come back to that code as well. Now look, these are the function name: save record, update record, and delete record. These are the function name. So you need to call these functions on click event of save button. So before going anywhere, straight away you should come back here and declare the one object. I'm just writing here, what is the class name? The class name is DB helper, DB helper. And I'm just writing here, my DB helper. My DB helper is the object name. Now, by the time you run your application, so you need to assign the space. For assigning a space, I'm writing here, new DB helper. So now new DB helper will initialize my DB helper within the memory. Now with the help of uh, my DB helper, you can access a different function. Now, whenever someone will click on the save button, so what we need to do here, uh, we need to call the save record function, which we have recently defined within the DB helper class. Now, one thing you should also keep in your mind, basically, it will return insert function of SQLite will return -1 when when there is a error while inserting record. And inserting record, and it will return as 0 if the record inserted successfully. So now you should keep something in your mind. Basically, insert record will return the -1. So this is what we have to do here. Now, what I'm just one more thing, you can just see the return type. The save function basically, whenever you will save your record, so the save record function will return two values, either -1 or either 0. -1 means that record not inserted successfully. There is an error in your application. There is an error in your code. Or if it returns 0, if it's mean that uh, your record has been inserted successfully. That's why we have here the return type, which is long. Now save record is returning basically the 1, 2 values, either -1 or either 0. So what I just need to do here, I'm just declaring here the one variable, save. Save is a variable name equal to, now my db helper dot save record, update record, and delete record. Save, delete, and update. What I just need here, I need here the save record. While I want to save record, I need to pass all these parameters. So let's pass all these parameters one by one. Okay. Now, how we can get the values of text view? Ahmad Rehan, how to get the values of text view?
Yeah, sir, we assign the whole employee ID and all of this.
Employee ID dot
Yes, sir. Dot edit text.
dot text dot to string this way. Now, one of the problem with this is basically a string value. While the first parameter, if you will just see, that's the integer, and we have here a string. So we need to convert this string into integer. For conversion, we can use integer dot parse int. Parse int is a function of integer class, which will take a string as the input and will convert into integer. So now let's do something like this. So now this is your first parameter. Now the second parameter, employee name dot get text dot to string. We do not need to parse into integer because the name is obviously it will be integer, it will be string. Now the next one is salary. That's why I'm just taking here parse int. And then I'm just taking here salary dot get text dot toString. Now this is okay. Now similarly, let's take here after the salary we have next one is address dot get text dot toString, and one last parameter we need here, which is department ID. So parse in dot department ID dot get text dot toString. Now this way, now we get basically all the values. So we get all the values, and then now these values we will try to save with the help of DB helper class within the SQLite database. Okay, as I just told you, like save record will return two values. Habiba, which values save record will return in case if it is saved successfully? Yes, Habiba, can you hear me? Harun, which values save record will return in case of if it is saved successfully? Harun. I think the student, they just get login and then they wandered out somewhere else just to mark them present. Anyhow, I will not mark these two students as the present. Those who are not replying me, they will be considered as absent because they are in the meeting, but actually physically they are not here. Shabir,
Yes, sir.
what value save record will return in case if it is inserted successfully? I told
Integer done by ID, sir.
you like it will return -1 if there is error, and if it will return 0 if there is
Zero,
wrong.
sir.
So now use here if condition. If save equal to -1, so it means that there is an error, else record has been inserted successfully.
Okay, sir.
Now these are the condition. Now we need to write down here when there is the error, so display the message. So to display message, dot make text get application context error while inserting record, and toast this one, toast dot short dot show. So this is the one thing. Now similarly, when there is a error, so display the message. When there is no error, so get all record from database and display in display text view. But we do not have right now the function for displaying record. We will come back to that portion later on. Now, this is, although the code is not completed yet, we have to do a lot of more things as well. But now it's the time for the update. For updating record, once again, we need to perform some more action. Now, here I'm just taking long update equal to my db helper dot update, and obviously again it's need all the same parameter. It's need id, name, salary, address, and department id. So I think it will be I will just copy and paste all the parameter because we have already written here how to get the values of all the controls. So let me just copy and paste these values here. Now this way basically we have paste all the values. Once again, now we need to use the if condition because update will also return -1 when there is an error. So -1 if there is an error, so display the message toast dot make text, get application context, error while updating a record. Updating record, toast.short.show. Now let's say if it is inserted, if it is updated successfully. So once again, get all records from the database and display your list inside the display text view control. And the one more we have pending here, which is for deleting record. For deleting record, we don't need to pass all the parameter, but the few. So I'm just writing here delete is a variable name, mydbhelper.delete, and we don't need to pass all the parameter. That's why I'm just passing only the single, because delete will be based on ID. We do not need the name or any other thing. So this way, and finally I'm writing here delete equal to -1, and then what to do, display the message, otherwise record inserted successfully. So I can just use here toast.makeText, get application context, error while deleting a record, error while deleting record, and toast.short.show. Now if there is no error, so once again the refresh, get all the values from the database and display your record here. But so far we do not have any function. Is it clear so far? Any problem?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay, now
Clear, sir.
let's proceed with the DB helper class. DB helper class. Now in the DB helper class, we need to write down here the few more functions and the few more classes. The first thing we need to specify here, that will be what will be the database name. So, and what are the different functions you needed? So first of all, I'm just writing here extend. So DB helper class is basically I've created the DB helper class. This class will extend the base class, and the base class name is SQLite open helper. My DB helper class, will extend from the open SQLite open helper class. So this is the first thing we need to do here. Now, open helper class, it has the two functions. The one which is called on create, and the one which is called on upgrade. So go to the implement method. So we have here the two things. One is on create and the one is on upgrade. So what to do on create and what to do on update. So just click on OK. So now you have the two more functions. One is on create and one is on update. So I will take my functions, like these are three user defined functions: save, update, and delete. So let's use the proper sequence. First of all, built-in function, and then user defined. So this is my own function. So insert, on create, upgrade, and then I have my own user defined function. Now, the first thing we need to define here, the database name. So for the database name, I'm writing here private static. You should declare the one name for your database. So I'm just giving here DB name. You can use here database name or something, database name, but the shortest will be database name equal to my database 1.db. So now this is my database name. Now the second thing we need to define here, the version for our application, for database applications of private, static, final, and I'm just writing here the version. The version will be static, integer, so I'm writing here version equal 1. Later on you can increase with the 2 or 1.0, then you need to take their long, version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4. and so on. So this way, basically, you can declare the version for your application.